The struggle within you is simple yet brutal. Inside every man there is a dog and there is a wolf. The dog is the part of you that craves approval, that bends its neck for a pat on the head, that obeys even when obedience leads to its own destruction. The dog is loyal to a fault. It waits for orders. It trusts the hand that feeds it, even if that same hand one day decides to strike. The dog survives not through its own strength, but by depending on the mercy of another. And mercy, my friend, is a dangerous illusion, because in this world mercy runs out long before hunger does. Think about the dog's loyalty. It is blind, unquestioned, and constant, but blind loyalty is the enemy of power. What happens when the master disappears, when the hand that feeds is gone? The loyal dog starves, helpless, unable to hunt, unable to think, unable to lead. He was conditioned to follow, not to survive. He was raised to obey, not to conquer, and when the storm comes, the dog is swept away, still waiting for a command that will never come. The wolf, however, knows no such weakness. The wolf owes allegiance to no one. He does not beg for scraps. He hunts for his own meal. The wolf does not seek approval. He demands respect through his very presence. He has no master, only rivals and prey. Unlike the dog, who is fed when the master allows, the wolf chooses when and where he will take. This is why the wolf survives when kingdoms fall, when empires burn, when the masters themselves are reduced to dust. The dog perishes with the master. The wolf thrives in the ruins. Now, understand this. The world will train you to be a dog. From childhood, you are told to obey. You are rewarded when you submit. You are punished when you question. You are given a seat if you behave, but the throne is forbidden to you if you dare to challenge. Society prefers you as a dog because dogs are safe. Dogs do not rise. Dogs do not threaten. Dogs protect the master's throne but never dream of sitting on it. And here lies the deception. Many wear the mask of the wolf, yet inside they are still dogs. They snarl, they bark, they pretend to be strong, but the moment power demands ruthlessness, they collapse back into obedience. They confuse loyalty with strength, submission with virtue, obedience with honor. But Machiavelli knew this truth well. Loyalty is a chain, and a man who lives by loyalty alone is already enslaved. The wolf cannot be enslaved. The wolf's loyalty extends only to his survival, his pack when it benefits him, his strategy when it secures power. The wolf is not blinded by sentiment. He knows when to cooperate and when to betray. He knows when to retreat and when to strike. He knows that mercy and kindness are luxuries, but survival and dominance are necessities. The dog, in his weakness, seeks love. The wolf, in his strength, commands fear. And Machiavelli himself wrote, "It is safer to be feared than loved." The dog's life is a begging bowl. The wolf's life is a crown won by tooth and claw. One lives chained, the other roams free. One dies forgotten, the other etches his name into the laws of survival. And when the battle for power begins, when the weak are devoured and the strong rise above, it is never the dog who remains. Men are taught to believe that kindness rules the world, that sentiment is a noble weapon, that if you are good, the world will reward you with goodness in return. But this is a lie sold to the weak by those who profit from their obedience. Sentiment is not a weapon, it is a leash. It binds men to false hopes, to misplaced trust, to the delusion that fairness exists in the battlefield of life. Yet history has no record of empires built on kindness, no rulers crowned because of sentiment, no power maintained by mercy alone. Understand this. Kindness, generosity, and love are luxuries. They are masks worn only when survival has already been secured. They are ornaments of the powerful, never the foundation of their rise. Those who depend on them as strategies are condemned to defeat before the game has even begun. Machiavelli warned us clearly, men who cling only to virtue will fall, for the world is not governed by virtue, but by necessity. And necessity demands power, not sentiment. The dog inside you believes that if you serve faithfully, If you love unconditionally, if you obey without question, the world will somehow take care of you. But the world does not remember loyalty when it no longer serves a purpose. The dog is cast aside the moment he has no utility. This is the cruelty of reality. When power is at stake, sentiment is the first thing sacrificed. Those who cannot see this truth are devoured by it. The wolf understands the opposite. The wolf does not waste his heart on illusions. He does not give without calculation. He does not act out of blind love, but out of measured interest. He knows that alliances must be built not on affection, but on leverage. He knows that relationships last only as long as they serve survival. He knows that the man who leads with sentiment is already bleeding, and the world is filled with wolves waiting to drink that blood. Think of those who have ruled, the kings, the conquerors, the merchants who turned dust into dynasties. Did they rely on love? No, they relied on control. They wielded fear, they mastered deception, they calculated every move not with their hearts, but with their minds. If they showed kindness, it was a tool, a performance, a mask to disarm their rivals. But behind that mask, they sharpened their knives. This is the true lesson. Kindness is not to be abandoned, but weaponized. Sentiment is not to be trusted, but manipulated. The dog suffers because he believes in the permanence of affection. He thinks loyalty guarantees protection. He thinks love guarantees safety, but when famine comes, when enemies rise, when wealth dries, all affection disappears. The wolf anticipates this truth. He never entrusts his fate to the fragile rope of sentiment. He builds his fortress not on feelings, but on fear, respect, and the cunning use of necessity. And here lies the cruel wisdom of Machiavelli. The leader who tries to be only good will perish. The man who rules by sentiment alone will be betrayed by those who no longer find his goodness useful. The ruler who builds with kindness alone builds his palace on sand. But the man who rules through necessity, who understands that power must always stand above sentiment, he builds on stone. He cannot be easily moved. He cannot be easily broken. He cannot be easily replaced. Every man dreams of being loved, to be adored, to be cherished, to walk into a room and feel the warmth of acceptance. But love is fickle. Love is fragile. Love is a candle in the storm, and when the wind rises, it flickers, it fades, and it dies. Fear, however, fear endures. Respect born out of fear is carved deeper than affection born out of sentiment. Machiavelli himself declared that if a ruler cannot be both loved and feared, it is safer to be feared. And this is not mere theory, it is the cruel truth of human nature. Men love you when it benefits them. They love you when your presence feeds their comfort, when your kindness sustains their weakness, when your existence serves their desires. But the moment you no longer provide, that love evaporates. Betrayal often comes not from enemies, but from those who once claimed devotion. Love is conditional, and those who depend on it are destined for disappointment. Fear, on the other hand, does not vanish when hunger strikes. Fear lingers. Fear binds tighter than love. It does not ask for permission. It demands obedience. Respect is not born from kindness alone. Respect is born from strength, from consequence, from the silent understanding that disobedience will not be tolerated. The wolf commands respect not because he asks for it, but because he enforces it. The dog waits to be loved, the wolf ensures he is feared, and that fear is not weakness, it is security. It is the armor that protects when loyalty cracks, when alliances break, when sentiment fails. Look at history. The rulers who relied on love, who believed in affection as the foundation of power, were quickly forgotten or easily overthrown. But those who instilled fear, those who carved their rule into the bones of their subjects, those names echo still. Fear imprints itself into memory. It builds caution, hesitation, and restraint in the hearts of rivals. It ensures that betrayal carries a price too heavy for most to pay. Now, do not mistake this truth. Fear without respect breeds rebellion. A tyrant who is only cruel eventually faces the blade, but fear tempered with respect, fear balanced by competence, creates unshakable authority. Respect ensures that the people do not only obey because they tremble, but because they recognize strength. They may not love you, but they acknowledge you. They may curse your name in silence, but they will not dare to speak it aloud. That is true power, not adoration, but dominance veiled in respect. The dog seeks to be loved and dies forgotten. The wolf seeks to be feared and remembered, but the rarest ruler, the one Machiavelli whispers of, is he who understands how to weave both, to wear the mask of love when it suits him, but to anchor his throne on fear, to show mercy when it strengthens his rule, but to wield punishment without hesitation when mercy becomes weakness, to command respect not through empty words, but through action, through consequence, through unwavering discipline. Fear is the foundation, respect is the structure, love is merely the decoration. A house built on love alone will collapse when the storm comes. A house built on fear will stand though its walls be scarred. And when that house is reinforced with respect, when its pillars are carved from strength and necessity, it becomes unshakable, unmovable, untouchable. Power is not inherited by the weak. Power is not gifted to the obedient. Power belongs only to those who understand the brutal mechanics of survival. To live in this world as a dog is to live on borrowed time, always at the mercy of another, always waiting for permission to eat, to act, to breathe. The dog's survival depends on the benevolence of its master, but what happens when the master no longer needs him? The leash becomes noose. The wolf survives because he is not chained. He does not wait for opportunities, he creates them. He does not rely on the generosity of others, he takes what he needs. His survival is not based on chance, but on choice. The wolf is ruthless because he must be. He knows that the world is not a place of fairness, but of predators and prey. And in this hierarchy, hesitation is death. Practical survival means stripping away the illusions of comfort. It means understanding that loyalty, kindness, and hope are fragile shields against a world sharpened with claws. The man who wishes to rise must accept that people are not guided by gratitude, but by self-interest. They will betray, they will abandon, they will turn against you the moment it benefits them. To survive, you must anticipate this. To survive, you must play the same game, but play it better. Survival is not about strength alone, it is about strategy. The lion has strength, but without cunning, he can be trapped. The fox has cunning, but without strength, he can be crushed. The wolf embodies both, calculated cunning with decisive force. That is why he endures where others perish. To survive in the world of men, you must not only be able to strike, but to know when to wait. You must not only be willing to attack, but also to retreat when the odds do not favor you. The dog rushes blindly into battle for approval. The wolf chooses battles only when they serve his advantage. In practical survival, there is no room for sentiment. If alliances serve you, keep them. If they weaken you, cut them loose. If kindness strengthens your image, use it. If cruelty secures your power, wield it without hesitation. Every decision must be measured not by how it feels, but by how it serves survival. The wolf does not howl for love, he howls to declare his territory. He does not follow, he leads even if the path is drenched in blood. The weak perish because they believe life is governed by fairness. They believe effort guarantees reward, that virtue guarantees safety, that loyalty guarantees protection. These beliefs are luxuries for the powerless. The wolf abandons such illusions. He sees life for what it is, a contest of strength, cunning, and endurance. The man who accepts this truth is dangerous because he cannot be deceived by comfort, bribed by affection, or broken by betrayal. He calculates, adapts, and survives where others collapse. Practical survival is not about living one more day. It is about ensuring that every day moves you closer to power. It is about turning every act, every word, every alliance into a weapon of endurance. It is about becoming untouchable, not by hoping for protection, but by making yourself too dangerous to challenge, too necessary to remove, too powerful to ignore. You have seen the truth laid bare. Inside you lives a doggo, obedient, loyal, waiting for commands, and a wolf, cunning, ruthless, free. The dog seeks love but dies forgotten. The wolf commands fear, and his name endures. Machiavelli did not write for the meek, he wrote for those willing to rule, and rule demands the death of the dog within you. Power does not belong to those who obey, nor to those who hope, nor to those who love blindly. Power belongs to those who understand necessity, those who wield fear and respect, those who rise not by waiting, but by taking. Kill the dog in you, kill the obedience, kill the weakness, let the wolf awaken, let him hunt, let him rule, for only then will you not just survive in this world, you will dominate it,